Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all the news from Star Citizen from the week just past. I am your host Mac, so let's get on with it. This week, the latest concept ship, the Crusader Mercury, goes on sale. We see progress on the Voip and Foip feature, plus we get to see early work on the Lorville transit system. So if you are wanting to try Star Citizen for free, CIG are currently running a FREEFLY this weekend. You will have access to the Aegis Avenger, the Misk Prospector mining ship, the Drake Cutlass Black, and the Drake Dragonfly. Some really great ships there. Plus, you'll have access to all the locations that we have as backers. You have until the 27th of August to try it out. All you need to do is sign up to the website and you'll be able to download the game and give it a go. Remember, it is 30 gig though, so it may take a little while. Be sure to use my referral code seen on screen now or in the description if you haven't got an account yet, as this will give you 5,000 in-game credits for free when you do so. This is the best way to try Star Citizen. It requires no money whatsoever. Get into it, let me know what you think about it. I would love to hear your thoughts. So the first question for Calling All Devs is, when ArcCore gets added, will we see the addition of the Aran Halo asteroid field and its gateways? Now, this is an asteroid field which is between, I think it's Hurston and ArcCore. It's on the roadmap, you can see it, but the really cool concept of the gateways there. They say it's not going to be in 3.4 when ArcCore comes in. The Aran Halo is seen as a separate entity and will be tackled later. They do need to make sure that asteroids look good when the sun is behind you, so once they got that tech sorted, they will look into creating it. Next question, how can ships hover the way that they do in atmosphere? Now, this has been addressed previously by Chris Roberts. Currently, the manoeuvring thrusters are way too powerful than what they should be. They are not accurate. There is plans to sort them out. Some ships do behave as they should, like the Reclaimer with its VTOL thrusters and the Retaliator. They kind of work well in atmosphere. And Chris Roberts does want all the ships to feel distinctive and will perform more accurately in the future. Third question is, will we see atmospheric planes, aquatic ships and so forth added this year? And no, not this year. There's nothing actively being planned for these types of vehicles, but that doesn't mean that they won't ever make it into the game. It's just there are no plans at the current status. So final question, will there be a weapon rest character position so as not to provoke a firefight? Now, this is something that I've really wanted for a while now. So when you've got a weapon equipped and sort of out pointing in front of you, instead of having it pointing directly in front of you, have it point to the ground, kind of like an at ease stance where you can walk around and guard and not generally put the shits up someone when you're pointing a gun at them. And they said it's definitely something they want for players. They do need it for Squadron 42, kind of like it's holstered, but it's not. And they want this as well for AI, because when they move away from armistice zones and go towards actual security guards, it will help indicate whether those guards are reacting to you in a bad way or if they're just at ease with you. And that's something, as I say, is one of my pet peeves, is whenever you bring out a weapon, you have to have it pointing in front of you. I do like the more laid back, especially when patrolling or anything along those lines. Great for roleplay. Anyway, that was Calling All Devs, guys. Let's move on quick. So on to Around the Verse this week. They were working on core tech, which enables a much more streamlined workflow for designing and implementing UI into the game. Basically, iterating on UI display logic quickly and in real time. It's very useful for weapons and ammo displays, comm array screens, MFDs and ships, and these new storage lockers and more. It just makes the workflow much quicker. They're updating the current missions and contracts for players. Currently, most mission locations are hard-coded, so items spawn at XYZ, for example. As they add more locations and Stanton expands, they don't want to have to go through and update every single mission every time a new location comes in. So they're working on a system which auto-updates and adds the new locations, allowing players to travel further. We saw some early modular work on Lorville's transit station. It looks very similar to the underground that we currently know. And it looks as though trains arrive behind the glass on the right-hand side and then the set of doors open up. It's very cool to think we'll soon be able to navigate our way around the city using this system, checking out all the locations. Also notice the two shady-looking characters sat on the bench. One is wearing a long black trench coat and the other one was wearing sort of tracksuit bottoms and a black hoodie. I wonder if this is part of the Hurston's clothing collection that we'll be able to purchase when Hurston comes in. They also said that we will see more of the city of Lorville at CitizenCon, which does sound exciting. We'll probably have a little tour of that. Now, they're optimizing Voip and Foip to get it working correctly. They're working on data compression, making it run less expensively in terms of performance. They're also controlling the audio bitrate server side, which allows them to present an audio experience which is appropriate to what the player is doing in-game. If the player is wearing a helmet and using the comm system to talk, they provide a lower bitrate as the audio is expected to be degraded, as we can hear here.
Test. Voice comms audio test. Compression level high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
But if no helmet is being used and you're in the same room as the person, then the voice will be much more clear, meaning a higher bitrate, and it sounds like this.
Voice comms audio test. Compression low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now this is something that Chris Roberts mentioned a while ago. He knows he's never going to be able to stop people wanting to use third-party voice, but he does intend on creating a robust quality VoIP experience so that players feel like they don't want to. I personally don't want to. I want to have the full experience of the game sounds, and VoIP will sound great and differ depending on the proximity, the location, the headgear, everything basically. Which in turn will create some really cool moments, like being on a bridge and hearing all the crew chatting away, like pilots and navigators and so forth, talking to each other. And then also planetside, maybe in an intense firefight or exploring a wreck with your headset comms going off. It's just going to be so cool. Anyway, moving on from that. The test case for elevators management tech we got to see. This allows them to integrate for more dynamic elevators into the game. He said it needs a bit more work, but once applied, it will work with trams, trains and other public transportation. I do wonder if this will also apply to personal hangars and habitation apartments planetside. That would be kind of cool. They're also continuing to improve the mining mechanic, working on stability and resistance updates. Soon we will see more unstable rocks which are very difficult to mine, but if you focus your laser on one spot of the rock without moving it, the stability then begins to decrease over time. Now it does sound like it's becoming more and more skill based from what it is currently, as I tend to cheat and move my laser off rather than resetting the laser. So I'm looking forward to giving it a go and seeing if it feels okay. Work continues on rest stops, working on asymmetrical exteriors, adding more false shop fronts and advertisements to bring them to life. It's looking very nice and I'm very much looking forward to checking them out when 3.3 comes. Anyway, to finish off with, the Connie Phoenix work continues. They're improving the landing gear compression and interior refinements. The interior is looking great, and we've got the first look at the cool Sentinel piano. Anyway, that was ATV, guys. So, we have a new concept ship. It is called the Crusader Mercury Star Runner. It is a cargo transporter, both physical cargo and data, but it also has sneaky smuggling capabilities. Now, it's capable of collecting and transporting data or cargo, using the scanners to listen in on information and collect it, store it, and then encrypt it, selling it to potential buyers. It's got a dedicated scan bay with 4 avionics, a large bank of computers and data pods to store the information. It's much bigger than the Herald as well. It's a much larger ship too, so it can hold more data. It's an asymmetrical ship which combines the look of the Millennium Falcon and the Crusader Starlifter. The asymmetry makes it interesting for thruster placement as well. They said they did go through a few shapes before settling. The interior is also asymmetrical. As you can see here, it also has a break room with a hollow table, which is quite cool. Used for relaxing and hopefully playing chess. And then you can press a button where the table is and it'll split open, revealing this sort of ventilation shaft. This system is to provide access to not only components, it provides space for storing subcomponents and so forth, but also an option to hide contraband for smuggling. For weapons, it's got 2 manned turrets in the cargo area, which are size 2s. It's got full 360 rotation, top and bottom arcs as well. 2 front size 2 pylons. You can see the guns through the cockpit and see them firing, plus the windshield or the cockpit is unobstructed, which is excellent. I kind of see this as a combination between a Freelancer and a Herald. So the stats, it's 40 metres in length, 38 metres wide, 11.6 metres high. It's got a 215 metres a second speed, maximum crew of 3. It comes with light armour, 96 standard cargo unit, which excludes the smuggling compartments, 2 size 3 hardpoints, 1 gimbaled size 2 laser repeater, 2 man turrets each with 2 size 2 laser repeaters, 2 size 2 missile pylons with 2 size 1 missiles per pylon. Now, I am a fan of the ship, not majorly. I like that it has the smuggling option, but to be honest, it seems a little too obvious a method for smuggling. As a cargo data runner ship, though, it is pretty cool, and I think it would be a great addition. For the price, it is a lot of cargo space. With the data collection, you've got a decent all-round ship there. Now, the smuggling aspect would highly depend on how it feels, but personally, if it's obvious to a player where to look, then what's the point? You're not going to be able to smuggle stuff. It's obviously more down to the AI and getting it past them. RTV will answer many of your questions and go into more detail, which we'll look at in a second. I will likely create a separate video for the Mercury, but I'll await the official Q&A before I do so we have all the information at hand. I am hoping it brings maybe a data runner or smuggling deep dive so we can look into that a bit closer, but I'm not confident it will. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the Mercury, guys. It is a ship that you like. Have you bought one? What are the good points? What are the bad points? I'd love to hear them. So this week's Reverse the Verse was a live Q&A at the Bar Citizen in Cologne during this Gamescom event. Jared sat down with 3 of the people that helped create the Crusader Mercury Star Runner to answer some of our questions about the ship itself. Now, we'll start off by just talking about the ventilation shafts and the stuff that they've spoken about, this little ventilation system underneath the ship. Officially, they are to be a place where you can store items. Basically, spare components, sub-components, those sort of things that you don't want filling up your cargo space. Lots of ships do have extra areas, like the Adris and Hammerhead, for example, have storage cupboards with racks and storage space. There is a separate component access down in these ventilation shafts as well. The storage space is not registered as cargo and will not show up when people scan the ship or when you try and sell cargo from down there. The main cargo hold is what you will see if you scan the Mercury. But if you spend more time scanning, you may be able to see them, they said, so we'll see if that does actually happen. Now, unofficially though, the smuggling compartments are seen as lockboxes for contraband. Others could find a way to break into them and see what's inside. It is possible to smuggle or trap people in these ventilation shafts as well if you wish, but they do want smugglers to be able to upgrade the shielding for them so there is less chance of getting discovered. It does sound like you can upgrade the smuggling compartments themselves. Some will have better security than others, and there will be a little hacking minigame, and if a person is good enough, they could get inside the box. But once you land, there will be a customs inspection at many locations. NPCs will either scan your ship or come on board and check it and look around. You have to be clever when it comes to smuggling. There are many ways to not get caught. Having something else for them to scan is a good idea as a distraction maybe, but I personally think if you could place the contraband in these little ventilation shafts and then fill up these areas with regular ship items and sub-components and whatnot, it could put the AI off or the player off searching for the contraband so long as you don't act all shifty. But someone did ask, won't every guard just know where to look? Will the AI not know the layout of each ship? And that was something of my concern is, surely if you have a smuggling compartment, everyone will know to look there. Now, they said that the AI will be programmed to play a bit dumb. There will be a series of places to hide and the AI will know maybe 1 of 3, 1 of 4, maybe 2 of 3 places. Although a super smart AI, as they say, may know all of them, that is when you need to get crafty and move stuff about as they search. This, I don't feel, helps when it comes to real players, though. You may be able to bribe or kill the other person exploring, or you'll need to get clever and learn the best methods. We are yet to learn more about that, but I do want to make sure that when you get boarded by a player and they know they're looking for contraband, they're not just going to go straight to the obvious places. So one of the questions they asked was, how much smuggling SEU is there? Now, they say that the stats on the stats page will say 96 SEU. This is the rear cargo bay, not including the smuggling compartments. There are 3 compartments. She said it was 1x1 size. I assume this means the current cargo box being like 0.25 of a standard cargo unit. Not a big smuggler, it's more of a cargo ship data runner with smuggling capabilities. So the weapon hardpoints, they say, are rather small compared to other ships of a similar size. Why is this? And they're intentionally small as it's not a fighting ship. It is a fast, agile ship, not one to fight it out and slug it out with other ships. Next question is, they saw a chessboard on the table. Will we be able to play chess? Now this is quite exciting. They wanted a break room in the ship to relax, and Chris Roberts, they say, has mentioned about having holo chess. He also spoke at great length about how they want to have lots of little mini games to help pass the time while in quantum travel, because obviously it takes a long time to go from one place to the next, even in one system alone. All of these little mini games will be there for you to pass the time. The table we saw actually folds away and reveals the ventilation system access, allowing access to the guts of the ship, like in the Millennium Falcon. So I do like that. It's nice to know that there will be many mini games like cards, chess style games, maybe computer games, Arena Commander on board, that sort of stuff, so that if you are travelling from one place to the next and it's taking a long time, you don't get super bored quick. Next question, can the Mercury send the information data to other ships with storage, and can the other ships decrypt the info? Now they say that essentially any ship will be able to send and receive data to other ships on varying levels, so sharing coordinates or discoveries, for example. It will just take time, so ships that are not designed to send and receive data will take longer than those with the proper capabilities. They said think of it like bandwidth. The better you have, the quicker it'll be. Encryption is locked to hardware though, so you have to have a ship with the tools to encrypt or decrypt. So as long as you have a ship that can decrypt the information you're sending to them, they will be able to decrypt it and understand it. Now the next question is, how do players use the ship to collect information from other players? And it's quite simple. If a player is sending a transmission to another player, like for example a profitable mining spot, then you can intercept that transmission between the ships and gather that information for yourself. Whether or not they can see that happening, or if they need a special type of hardware to figure that out, I don't know, but it's very straightforward. Information is shared, it can be intercepted and stolen. Next question is, will it be possible to smuggle items within other items, like barrels of toxic waste, or the handheld scanner we saw a while ago where you took out the battery and put in contraband? Now they definitely want the ability to have crates shieldable or misleading in some way. Customs will stand a better chance finding it if they come on board and just look in the box though, so having these smuggling compartments is a better way of doing it. But I would like to see a bit more further development so you can be really clever against real players, like the scanner where you can just take out battery packs or power plants and then stick stuff in there. Maybe not power plants because then the ship wouldn't run. Next question, will it be possible to lay bait out to entice guards to look in the wrong section of your ship? Now they see it working where you can waste the AI's time so much so that they eventually give up looking. It does depend on how they configure the AI. Maybe they'll set them up to do 3 searches in 3 random areas and then they give up. So if you do place a decoy, they can search in the decoy's location and then it'll eventually exhaust their searches depending on how many they have programmed for, and they will eventually just give up on it. But these devices will be quite costly and will be a one-time use only, pretty much balancing the risk-reward. So next question, when visiting a city, instead of landing through the air traffic controller system and going through the customs, could we land outside the city and smuggle the goods in on foot? An excellent question. And they say, yes, you will be able to do this, but avoiding guards will require a bit of skill. For example, Lorville has the main security checkpoint, very hard to pass through it with illegal goods. You can come to the outskirts where the security is a little more relaxed. You know, they don't have the proper systems, they just have handheld scanners and they won't be as strict when searching you. But there may also be maybe a service hatch which is open at a certain time of day which will bypass the security and allow you to get in, but then others who also know about this hatch may be waiting for you to steal this stuff you're smuggling. So very skill-based again, and they did say that for every player wanting to be the best smuggler, there is likely a player who wants to be the best at stopping people smuggling, which is just exciting all through and through. Next question, is the Mercury a multi-crew ship or solo? It has a crew of 3, a pilot, co-pilot and maintenance guy. You can run it alone, it's possible, but if you get into trouble you may struggle, like with any other big ship, power in numbers. What vehicles can we fit in the Mercury? Now, it does have a cargo ramp, as you can see at the rear. It can get all the bikes in and the Grey Cat, but it's not big enough for the Cyclone or the Ursa Rover. Can you drop the cargo or the information immediately? Now, there is a button you can press, like the Herald, that can wipe all of the data you are carrying. The cargo doesn't have a special chute to throw it out, but you can decompress the cargo hold, and that will vent the cargo if the doors are open. Anyway, that was the Q&A for the Mercury. The more I listen about it, the more I read about it, the more excited I am for this kind of gameplay. I do hope that they don't make it just easy for real players to find your contraband and they have some clever ways of hiding it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys. Let's move on. So also this week we saw a new lore post to complement the Mercury sale titled On the Run. This post follows the 2 data runners as they try to escape the grasp of the UAE advocacy. Highly suggest giving that a read, especially if you're interested in the Crusader Mercury itself. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and share the video with all your friends. If you like what I do and want to help me make it better, follow the link below to my Patreon page to learn more.